All right. Hey, everybody. Pastor Jim here, and I'm with my good friend, Sam Proctor. Everybody say, hi, Sam. Okay. Sam, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing today, everybody? Nice weather.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day today. I'm out sitting out on the back porch enjoying the beautiful sunshine, nice temperature. So Sam and I go back a few years, and I met Sam at Word of Life International Church in Springfield, Virginia, and kind of come around and hung out a little bit. And it was so nice to meet him. And then I found out, like myself, that Sam's dad had passed away a few years ago. And so I thought, maybe Sam has a tough time around Father's Day like I do. And so I wanted to bring him on and ask him about his dad. So Sam, tell me about your dad.
My dad is at age 56 when he passed away. He worked at a bunch of gas stations. His main place he worked was Midas Muffler for 27 years. January
Wow.
7th, 1987, he first started. He also worked at a restaurant you guys might know called Geno's.
Geno's. They have pizza?
Pizza, chicken, everything. That's what my dad told me. I don't know which location where he worked at, but there was a bunch of them in Virginia. He told me there were.
Yeah, that's for sure. I see him all over the place. So what's your favorite memory of your dad?
When I went came up to come to my college graduation at Boston University, and 4 years after, when I graduated high school, 4 years after that, he came up to my senior year graduation. It was amazing. See me in my cap and gown, get my diploma, and he says, "You only have a wonderful job to have, and start your career."
Well, I'm sorry I never got to meet him. It sounds like a great guy. So do you have any other memories that you'd like to talk about with your dad?
My dad was a local school kid. We call it I still consider Robert E. Lee High School in Fairfax County, but it's in Springfield, Virginia.
Yep.
But they have officially changed the name, called John Lewis High School. So he graduated in 1978 from Lee, and then before that he went to Washington Irving. I think it's called Washington Irving or Irving High School or Key Middle. I don't know which one he went to, but it was a great school. He showed me all over Springfield what used to be not there and not there, especially up in Annandale. I didn't know a lot of things about Springfield. Like we have a Popeyes up there now. It used to be called Jack in the Box. And now all the Jack in the Box are on the south or the west. And
sounds like he knew all the good places to eat.
All the good landmarks, and he said there were some bad times we had, but we didn't. One thing he told me, what he said you had in high school, we had, and he didn't have cops. We had administrators catch us, if you can do something crazy,
So tell me about tell everybody about when you got him to go back to church.
Well, when the funny part was there's a church called on Fulton Road and Roland Road, and it's in Springfield, Virginia. So he apparently said, "We're going to go to my friend's church." I knew for a long time. I said, "What's the name of the church?" He says, "Called Family Worship Center. It now has a new name called Summit Church." The church is provided by a family named the Trayers, Trayer. So the actual pastor is the baby of the whole 9 kids of the family, and his brother is the executive pastor named Tony Trayers. So Tony Trayers is a retired UPS driver, and so he came up as executive pastor for a church called Summit Church. So when Dad introduced me to Tony Trayers, and Dad didn't recognize Tony at first. Tony recognized my dad and says, "Tom Proctor." That's my dad's name, Tom Proctor. And so Tony and the whole entire church gang, whoever knew my dad from high school, said, "Wow, we haven't seen each other over 20 years."
Wow.
And they just celebrated 2 years ago about their 40th class reunion. So it's been maybe been their 45th. I don't know exactly, but the class of 8 is doing a 40th this year, trying to.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time since Dad's been out of high school. You know, I've been out of high school since 2009. So,
I graduated 2 years before your dad did.
oh my gosh, you don't even feel you're not that old then.
I'm old. I'm old. We're having a reunion this year. It's going to be our 46th because we couldn't
Oh
do it
wow.
last year, 45th. So
Well,
yeah,
you
we're
can
gonna.
just time to go do it at the Hill again at the Hilton in Springfield, you know, or go do it down at Occoquan, you know.
Well, we're my high school is back in Ohio. So so your dad he got back to going to church.
That's correct.
Did he how 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 did you what was one of the things you did for him on Father's Day that you remember? You remember anything?
I remember we'll go out to eat, or we'll do is since his mom and dad are no lot had been deceased also, and his stepbrother has been deceased too. Well, we'll take a trip out to go visit them, and they're great, and it would have been taken care of. Their bodies are right now currently. We have two of them. He has a stepmom too, so. His stepmom and his dad are on to the cemetery. His stepbrother is in Richmond somewhere, and his regular mom is at Fairfax Memorial. So what we'll do is we'll go visit them on Father's Day every year, drive out there, and then we'll do lunch afterwards. But the main thing, we'll put something on, like a flower or just show like our hand next to on their stone, and then
that's a good thing to do.
And I'm gonna try to do that soon, but just taking time to do that.
So my dad was adopted, and every year we would go out to where his mom and dad, his adopted parents were buried, and we would clean up everything around their graves. And my favorite thing was back in the day, they had this thing called a well, and you had to pump the handle to get the water to come up because we needed to water everything. And every time I got there, I was like, Dad, can I do the pump? And he's like, yeah, go ahead. And it took forever, man. I was like, Dad, but it was a good tradition. It was an important thing to remember good people. And, it's really important for everybody to, if your dad's still with us, then celebrate him, take him to eat like you guys did. But when they're gone, remember the good times. Look through some old family pictures. It's such a good thing to do with your family, to remember those good people that had good influence on your life. So that was a good tradition.
One of the things I did his 1-year anniversary and his 5th anniversary. I have his remains. I went up to a few places, went back to his memory places. I went down to I'm planning on wanting to do it this year. I did on his 5th though. I went to Brookfield Park down in it's in Springfield, Virginia. I let go of some of his remains, and he asked me to do that in his heart. And I'm planning on doing this year. I'm gonna try to get around to I'm working on the details with his friends right now. To go out to the Potomac River, or the ocean, on a boat, and let go some more of his ashes and where he wants them taken care of. And then I'm gonna try to do is go to Arlington Cemetery and put some of his ashes on his dad's gravesite.
Wow, that's good. That's a good thing to do.
I wish I could do is I can go up to his high school and do that too, but I don't want to get in trouble for that.
No, don't get in trouble.
Yeah, I could probably. I think I found a tree I can go to. They said I can come up to the school if I wanted to and put on a tree, but just don't let security, school security see you doing it. I want to put on a tree also.
Yeah, they my dad was part of this club called the Optimist Club in Troy, Ohio, and they planted a tree in his honor, and it has a plaque by the tree, and a couple of years ago, I went and found the tree, and it's doing well. I'm sure it's still doing well, but good thing to remember. People.
I communicate through the Lions Club if they say they can do anything also. They're going to work on something maybe for me in the near-term future. I know one thing they did at Barbie Lee High School when his first year when he passed away, and the second year when he passed away, I didn't have to pay for anything. They put in a football, and they put in a fall football program. They put a picture of him and his other pictures in a bio of him. So I asked that they can honor his name,
That's great.
Because they said, yes, we heard Tom Proctor, and the principal that back in the day called me up and says, we're going to take care of this. I know Tom was the character, and I still I don't have the whole entire program, but I have the section they keep in him. But to this day, when he passed away, I do it every year. I set up his memorial on his death. I put gold, yellow, you can say gold or yellow beads and blue beads around his memorial, and then I will light up 2 candles, and then I say a blessing to him that I wish you were here in my every day, and he speaks to me from his heart, as my guardian angel.
Absolutely. I get you, man. Hey, Sam, thanks for joining me, man. I appreciate you coming on. And
Yes,
I really love you and appreciate
love
you.
you.
And thanks for sharing your memories of your dad.
Awesome.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome, buddy.